Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rail. Like and subscribe. Yeah, I tell you what, we was talking about yesterday. Yeah, but a couple of my pals in the market. Yeah, from the fruit market years ago when I used to work there. Do you know what? I was privileged. You know, it was a privilege as a kid to work in the fruit market as a kid. You're on about a closed market. Yeah, I mean Brentford Market. It's closed market. All the barrows, all the listers was there, all the stalls. There had about 1,000 stalls there, you know what I mean? All people walking about with big bags of fruit, big bags of this, big bags of that, boxes here, boxes there, everybody running around, walking around with big barrows, listers, and you're a kid, and you're going in that market, yeah? And my mate Terry Woods, blonde fella, quite a good looking guy, was the guy that got me into the market. He said that they was looking for a stand boy, like a night boy. I was at that time on North Sides, as I've told you before. But this is a bit more what goes on, and I met some really good people in here. You know, Johnny Wells, Billy Wells. I met all the Wellses. There were so many people in that market you could talk about, and everyone in that market could march on, yeah. But I remember me, Terry Woods, went on Block 6, Strawberry Road Block 6, and we had a toe fight. Not a real fight, but bare fists. No gloves, but bare fists. And Terry Woods, mate, was a good fighter. Was a good fighter. I can remember all this now. We talked about yesterday, and he taught me a lesson, smashed me up a bit. Didn't knock me out. It smashed him up a bit, and and then I was learning all the time off of him and Colin Cracknell. I mean, Colin Cracknell was a really good fighter. I worked for some good growers in there. I worked for about 5-6 growers, people doing all sorts of things, potato growers, like bananas. Listen, me tell you a little story about bananas. This is true, yeah. I worked in a banana company in there, and we was doing these big canary stalks of bananas. They're about 6 foot tall, maybe a bit longer than that, and you've got to pick them up, put the rope for the second hand. I don't know if I told you, but I put the rope for the second hand. Lots of times we had to call the RSPCA because little monkeys get in there, believe it or not, little monkeys get in the bananas, and also big snakes and spiders. And anyway, so this particular day I'm in there with Lenny, I went, hey, I can't, all that fucking, he had everything done up, around his wrists, elastic bands, around his ankles, elastic bands everywhere, you know what I mean? Anyway, I was sort of like doing this stalk of bananas, oh, fucking hell, what the fuck? And I dropped the stalk, and a spider was on my arm, it bit my arm, yeah? And fucking hell, let me, fuck that, pushed it on the floor, and it trod on it, and it run away. Fucking strong as an ox, and it trod on it again and killed it. And all of a sudden he said, you all right, boy? I went, yeah, I'm okay. Fucking hell, my arm blew right up, yeah? They called the ambulance took me to Parkwell Hospital, because that's the nearest one. Well, Isleworth was there, but I don't think Isleworth was really built then. It was built, but just about being built. And they took me there. Fucking hell, mate, I was on a drip for 2 or 3 days. They fucking poison spider, you know what I mean? I went back to the market. Didn't do the bananas no more, fuck that. It was a big market sales, it was. I didn't do that anymore, but I worked on all sides with Colin Cracknell. I was learning all the time. I was going there late at night and unloading the lorries, stacking potatoes, fucking 30 foot high, mate. I'm joking. 30 foot high, big oranges. I was only 15, 16 now. Stacking up all these oranges really high, and starting to get massive, mate, getting really big, eating a lot of food, getting there about 11, 12 o'clock, and then the porters would come in, and then the porters would take over, but because you're awake, you'd help the porters out, yeah, and especially in the summertime was really good, because you should go down Chiswick swimming pool, open swimming pool, and go there, stay there all day in the pool, and fall asleep in the pool, get burnt as anything, and then go back, and then go home, get changed, and go back down the market, you know what I mean? But after a while, it sort of get older, and you fall asleep on the job, you know? You'd be walking about falling asleep. But I used to love going around the market, and when I was to drop things off, but sometimes it wasn't a good idea to nick stuff as such, nick big boxes. So what we used to do was to get the empty boxes, empty big boxes, bushel as we call them, bushel boxes, go around and milk all the stuff in the market, milk the bananas, milk the apples, milk the oranges, just keep filling your boxes up, you're milking and go around milking all the stuff, and then selling the stuff the next day and could earn a right few pennies. I mean, you could earn like £100 a day if you was very, very good at it, you know what I mean? And then it was quite a lot of money. And don't forget, the market, it was good money, mate. I worked in as a kid, 15, 16, getting good money, you know, and I started, I mean, I loved to be a chap. I loved to be one of the boys walking around all flash with your Dr. Martens on, your fucking jeans turned up, you know what I mean, little vests and all that, and a big bib on, a flat hat like this, you know, we're walking around the market, a young boy, young Jack the Lad, you know what I mean. And with my mate, and then I met another guy called Derek Pierce. Derek, nice fella. Derek, he never said a lot, Derek Pierce, mate. He didn't have to. He was one dangerous man, could have a right fight. There's a lot who could have a fight, but he could have a fight. And me and him was to fight together. We used to go from there to Hamwell Community Centre, and fight around there, spar around there all the time. There was a guy, a big guy. There was a big guy could have a fight, mate. He could have a row with this guy. He's a Tony Gray, a big Tony Gray, massive 6'3", 6'4", massive. He had hands bigger than my hands, double size of my hands. Tony Gray, good fighter, mate. I used to see him up there in the gym on the bag. Could hit a bag, mate. Could hit a bag good. And you know, he was a good fighter. I think he was open class. He was open class, I think. He could fight anybody. He was a really good fighter. And I was getting it with Derek, run around with Derek in the ring, punching. And just become powerful and very, very strong as a kid. You know, and I was knocking him around the gaff, and then we go back down the market, do my job. In the end, obviously I used to fall asleep at work, you know, get on top of the potatoes. I had a look at who's coming in, no one's coming in, get on top of the potatoes and fall asleep for a couple of hours, you know. And I used to nick so much stuff. And Colin, I mean, when Colin used to come in the morning, he used to moan because I used to put too much stuff out. Too much stuff showing the greengrocers what we had for them to buy, yeah. But in the way, I was doing Colin a favour because I was buying some more stuff and Colin was earning more money, but Colin didn't like me all this stuff outside. And then obviously me and Colin used to have rows all the time. Colin was teaching me. He's the one that taught me about fighting, really, Colin Cracknell, mate. He taught me about fighting. I mean, come on, we used to have fights, one bag glove, one boxing glove, sometimes even bare fists, you know, and he could fight. He could hit, Colin. You know, he wasn't someone that held back because he was a boy. He'd fucking hit you as a boy. He's a boy. He'd bash you up, mate. He'd bash you up. He didn't give a monkey. He didn't care. He'd bash you up. You know what I mean? And you learn all the time. You know, I used to fight. Listen, I used to fight greengrocers like it's going out of fashion. Honestly, I used to always fight greengrocers. I never used to give a chance to say anything. Hit them straight on the chin. I hit them straight on the chin. The market, you know, there was a few people in there. Obviously, I told you about. You have to be really, really careful. I mean, come on, you got the Welleses, mate. There was a big family in that market. Big, powerful Welleses, mate. There was like Elfie, Arthur, Charlie, fucking Iron Billy, all them Tommy, all them lot. It was powerful people, yeah, and proper people. But I mean, Billy Wells. He's really well known. He had a place down in opposite Kew, does all the army stuff. Everybody knows him. He's dead now, but absolutely worth fortunes. They reckon when he died, they was finding gold bars under the floorboards. Fucking, you think I'm joking? They was finding gold bars under the fucking floorboards. He was hiding money all around the gaff. They found a fortune, you know, when he died. But his son, I've been told that he runs it. It's not together, mate. He's a bit simple, Simon. You know, people take him a bit of an idiot, and he asked me to do a few things for him, and then he back-turned on it, and you know, and I thought, fuck, you know, you're proper, mate. If I'd have done what you asked me to do, I'd have got myself well nicked fuck you, you know what I mean? And if you're listening and watching this, thanks very much for what you did. But by the sound of it, you try to get me nicked, you know what I mean? Anyway, and then moved on. I mean, we used to go to the clubs in there. We used to go to all the clubs, go to the boathouse. Anybody remember the boathouse up at Kew Bridge? Loads. We used to have really good dances in there, you know what I mean? Loads of hours. I've had loads of fights in there. Murray Bush used to be the governor, the big old bouncer in there. Murray Bush used to chuck them all about, chuck me about, you know, and a couple of times I had a few bad fights in there, and you know, they all get a clump. All the bouncers get a clump anyway, you know that. In the end of the day, I was getting clumps, and we at that time, when I was going in that boathouse, there was a lot of people, I was only a kid, and you're frightened of it, you know what I mean, really frightened. I was going in like the market, the scarf around my neck, and all the gear, you know, and I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. From there, we used to go to the Castle Richmond. And the Castle Richmond, we used to have plenty of trouble in the car. I've told you this before, but I was just sort of like going a bit further. And we used to have some really, really bad trouble in the castle. Because it's right out of our area. We didn't really give a fuck about for anybody. We'd be fighting all the time in there, you know what I mean? Because fighting as a kid is one of the things you do, and one of the things you learn. You learn all the time how to fight. You know, being in the market, I was a really hard man anyway. Fighting every day, really, in there. You know, really. Every day I was fighting in there, you know what I mean, learning a lot from people that could really well. I mean, I've seen Colin when we used to go down, Chiswick High Street, a few clubs down there and a few pubs down there. Colin going in this all the roofs, mate. And I'd see him, I'd learn, you know what I mean, the way he was doing things and banging people and all that, I'd learn, you know. Yeah, man, that's okay. I'm learning, you know. And he had Ginger Carlisle in the market was a very, very dangerous man, mate, Ginger Carlisle. Very dangerous. He could really have it, Ginger. I mean, a lot of people know that in there, Ginger Carlisle. I mean, there's so many people in that market. I mean, you know, unbelievable people. People could really, really march on. You didn't fuck about with potato growers. I know I've said it all before, but it's nice to say a little bit more, you know. But you had these potato growers in the market, mate. They didn't give a monkeys for anybody. They didn't care. They were mucking about of £112 bags of potatoes, throwing them around like as if they're nothing. You know what I mean? You can imagine the shoulders on them, unbelievable. And a lot of them didn't use a lister. They motor on the went. They used the barrow, and then putting some big weights on the barrow and moving along. Listen, there was a guy in there called Joe Strong. Yeah, he had a company called Joe Strong's. He was an exporter, got a lot of money, obviously thieving all the gear, and opened his own store called Joe Strong's. And because the reason why he got a name called Joe Strong, big, powerful man, Joe, big man, mate. And they reckon he used to pick up the barrow above his head, press it, and turn his barrows over. Come on, you're kids. That's all you want to learn is how to do this, how to do that, how to pick it up, how to turn it over. And me and Martin Worsfold, Martin had big, powerful arm, Martin, fucking powerful, proper powerful guy. He still trains now, really, really powerful guy. He used to pick, listen, he was in a potato firm, yeah, and he was phenomenally strong, phenomenally big, powerful man. I've seen him pick up barrows, mate, above his head, pressing them like they're nothing, yeah. And Joe Strong, even at his age, he had to be, 73, 74, he can still do it. He could still turn a barrow over, put it and press it above his head. Fucking powerful old man, mate. Then you had Blower. There was a guy in there called Blower. He must have been, 90, 93, 94. I'm telling you, still running around, but he was on a flower pitch, worked on a flower store as a porter. It was flowers and heavy, but he was running around with a barrow still at 94 years of age, mate. Running around with a barrow in the market, delivering to the greengrocers. I mean, crazy. On the cobbles, it ain't easy to push a barrow on the cobbles, believe me, I can tell you that, yeah. Freezing cold on the cobbles, yeah. I mean, that is how good the market was. I mean, because you're eating good food all the time, you've got loads of cash, you've got houses inside to get all the old, houses never really do dinners, but done big breakfasts, you know, like bacon, eggs, sausages, beans, tomatoes, a fried slice, black pudding, and all the business, you know what I mean? Big breakfasts, and greengrocers would be going there, porters would be going there, eating bet. Across the road, there was like 3 or 4 cafes, and the pubs around there just open like 3 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and the greengrocers are going there, and all the porters going there, having a good drink up. You know, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, the pubs would be opening up, yeah? Couldn't do it today, but in them times it was, you know. And we had a couple of cafes across the road. I mean, I remember me, Colin, Terry, a few others of us, Mickey and all, used to walk across the road and going to the cafe, swagger, a bit of a swaying about because you're looking at your flesh, ain't you? Going in there, and I got stabbed in the hand by the owner. He was I blew up this Durex. He stabbed me in the fucking hand, and then there was a big fight in there. Bashed a few people up in there, and Colin was a bit of a fucking arsehole in lots of ways. He was getting hold of this guy's missus. And what could the guy do about it? Mind you, stabbed me, he could have stabbed Colin. But anyway, I think he knew about Colin, what Colin was doing. Colin was a bit of a playboy. He loved the bird, as everybody in the market. There was all playboys. Everybody's earning a lot of money. You do what they want, go what, and you know, do you know what? I must have been one of the only guys in that fruit market that would become an arsehole. When I say arsehole, all them guys in the market later on in life all got their own business now. All got their own business, you know what I mean? Where they put the money they earned, the money they thieved in the market, they put it together and bought businesses, you know. Me, what was I doing? All I was doing was thieving. I'm robbies, buying shotguns, you know, buying motors to fucking, as getaway, to get away, you know what I mean? And that's all I was doing, learning how to do armed robberies. It was fucking crazy. You had people in there that was a bit lively. There was a couple of brothers in there that come from Twickenham. You know, these brothers are a bit near the mark. They're like the other company that I used to work for. And they're dangerous, these two brothers. Very dangerous. But the dad and their mum used to come in the market all the time. And there was Colin Cracknell's mates. They was his pals. And, you know, and later on in life, I see the boys come in a few times in the market. And now they're like feared people, you know, feared brothers, you know what I mean? Really feared. You know, and they run the area where they come from. They're proper people, mate, and you know they're very dangerous. And I used to look after a few clubs. You know, when I got a bit better in Twickenham, all that, and we see Joe Pyle all the time. I used to always see Joe Pyle down the clubs, always. And my mate Mickey Francis and Joe Pyle's son. I think Joe Pyle's son was a little bit young then to come down the clubs. I don't know. I can't really remember him. But there was a few people down there. There was Alex Steen, a guy called Alex Steen, used to go with Joe Pyle in the club down there. And I had to chuck them all out, you know what I mean? Oh, fucking hell, you can imagine, can't you? I've got to say, come and drink up, all out, but they used to leave them in there. We used to leave them in there like, and didn't really get involved in it. And then I used to go around the corner to another place and run his other club, you know? But this was a bar, a wine bar. And Joe Pyle, nice fella, gangster. We all know he was a gangster. Mickey Francis, same thing, gangster. You know, and Alex Steen, marching Alex Steen, sunglasses, big shoulders. He was always in there. There was a few other faces in there that I really I see Roy Shaw a couple of times in there. I didn't know at that time who Roy Shaw was, but I know I was told. Obviously later on, because the spy with Roy, so spy was down at Beckett, and I didn't really, you know, and he wasn't what I thought he would be. He was in Parkhurst, dangerous man, Roy. In Parkhurst, mate, as I told you before, Roy used to take the doors off the cells, and I used to take the door handles off in places. I couldn't take the door handles off in Albany, because they wasn't them sort of door handles, but places like Wandsworth, places like the Scrubs, other places like Lewis, them sort of nicks were the one handles. I used to rip them off all the time. I was so fucking phenomenally strong, you know. I was over. I mean, really, I was like over strong, you know. I should have been a gorilla. You know what I mean? I was massive, mate, and very, very powerful. Very powerful. Could take them doing it. And listen, let me tell you something. I ain't afraid of no man. I ain't afraid of no man. I used to fight anybody, mate. Anybody. Listen, for what I went through in my life, the way I got treated in 1074 and they tried to kill me, and be back with me with truncheons every day, 7 days a week, might have 1 day off, yeah? But batter me with truncheons for what, 3-4 months, maybe even more than that, mate. And come out the end, had a cry, but come out the end in one piece, not one piece. I was only about 9 stone when I come out that after 19 stone. Black, mate. Black with fucking bruises and black with just losing weight in a right bad way, you know what I mean? And if I can go through that, all that power, all that punishment, and not cry, and go through that, and any fucking man, I ain't fighting them. You know, what they can do to me, mate. I ain't fucking fear that. I don't fear it. But that made me worse than better. The only thing that made me better in a way, I know I'm going on a bit forward and all that game I started, but I'm gonna, you know, the only thing that got me a bit fearful was this IPP. Yeah, the IPP sorted me out in lots of ways because I knew they could put me back to prison anytime they wanted to. It was hard enough getting out of prison, believe me. I mean, to do the courses in prison, mate, you know, I'm lucky because I got the IPP when it first came out, yeah? When it first came out, I was one of the first ones to get IPP. So I was one of the first ones to get the courses where others come in and they'd have to make 2 or 3 years to do a course. You imagine. They might have already done 5 years, 6 years, and they got to wait another 2 or 3 years for them to do the course. They might get them out. I wonder about might. And then the ones that don't do that course, that can't do it or something happens, they do their CSCP. You know, cognitive self-change program. To do that, you're in trouble, mate. Because that could be like forever to do that course. It don't end, mate. It don't end. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people that have done that course that crack up. You know, I was very lucky not to do it. I had a good probation officer named Christine Rowe. Very, very nice, very good at her job. And she went mad when they tried to get me on it. She said, no, he ain't, he does what he does. He's entitled to get out now. The only reason I never got out is because I had a bad person on the board. I had a police officer on the board, and I've always bashed police officers up, attempted murder on police officers. I've always, GBH, attempted murder. I've always been one for bashing police officers up. He was ex-police officer, so he was against me from the off. I had no chance, yeah. He was the only one who knocked me back, and so I've got another 2 years. So I've done another 2.5 years as a knockback, yeah. So you can imagine, you know, it's not nice, mate. It's not nice, you know, when you go down there, you're thinking you've got half a chance, yeah. And they're telling you, listen, there's one on the board. He's ex-police officer. He ain't for you, mate. He's right against you. Sorry, mate, but I don't think you're going to get it this time. You go, fucking hell. You know, I mean, you tried your hardest. You've done everything you can possibly do. I mean, everything. Listen, mate, let me tell you about psychology. Psychology kills you. I used to wake up in the morning, mate, and get on my paperwork, mate, and be there for all day, trying to learn it. I can't write. I'm a bit dyslexic as well. I'm trying to write, trying to get things sorted out, and then you see them walk by your window. You shout out, because I was in the ones on the ground floor. Shout out, miss, can I have a talk? Yes, what's happening, mate? When's my next thing for me? Calm, controlling anger, learn to manage it. When I've got to do that. Well, we'll let you know, Mr. Hill. You keep doing what you're doing, keep learning it. Here's the young women, 26, 27 years of age, telling men that this, that, and the other. You know, and you've got to do as you're told. You've got to do as you're told. And that's the only course, that's the only thing that fighting me in prison. No one else fighting me in prison. Fuck me, no one else could fight me in prison. But I'm on about fear for the psychology. Fear, mate. And when you get out, when I went to my hostel, Ian, I'm sweet, nice, loved it in there, you know what I mean? Didn't love it, because I was lucky really, because I live about a mile away from there, because every day I used to go and see my mum, and God rest her soul, rest in peace mum, and my mum used to cook me dinner. You can't beat your mum's dinner, mate. Mum used to cook me dinner, look after me, I stayed with my mum, talk to my mum, and then go back to the hostel. Mate, do you know what? You lay in that hostel, and you'd hear crash, up the stairs, old Bill, where the fuck are you going? They're going in every day. I'm not on about once a week, I'm on about every day. Rushing in there, going into someone's cell, dragging them out for a recall, getting a recall. Everybody in that, listen, I'll shit myself or I'll get a recall. You ain't done nothing, but you don't know what's going on. They're running around the cells, fucking giving people recalls, you know, you can't do that, you can't do this. And you're petrified. You're petrified to talk. Listen to me, mate, listen to this. I'm been out about what? I don't know, a month? Been out about a month. And wow. And all of a sudden, I thought, I'm out a month now, yeah? So I'm all right. I ain't doing too bad. I'm quite happy, you know? And I thought, yeah, I love it, you know? What's up with this fucking phone? Sorry, beg your pardon, sorry. So I've been out about a month. Goes down and see my probation officer. Body